Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us with this quick introduction to Axel, our video search tool. A couple of things to note regarding this event. One is that it is being recorded, so you will receive as an attendee a copy of the recording later this week. And it is also live on Facebook, so we are going to have a live demonstration. And if there are any comments coming, we hope to be able to answer as well on Facebook as well as here on Zoom. How do you post questions? We have a Q&A section that you can see underneath at the bottom of the interface. And you can also use the chat window if needed. So now that the rules have been set, let me introduce myself. I am Patrice Gutterbell, VP of Products at Axel AI, and we are here joined today by Katie Scott, our VP of Operations, as well as Colin Anderson, who represents us in the US and South America, as well as Asia. And with that, let me just dive in and talk about Axel. And what is Axel? Well, it's software that will allow you to index your media, any kind of drive. It can be in the cloud, it can be local, it can be networked, it can be high-speed storage. Any drive that the Axel server will see, it will be able to index and reflect the content. So let me share my screen and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to open the web browser. And you will see that I have a login page directly to Axel. And I will log in. And once I have logged in, I will be presented with the folders I am authorized to see as the user Patrice here. And here I have the Axel interface with the content. Now, I am working off locally, but again, any storage that the computer running Axel can see, you will be able to index. So in this case, I'm going to launch Finder and show you one of the folders that I am indexing here. And you will see Axel 2019 is the same folder content and folder structure that I have here in my Axel interface. Now, why would companies need such a tool? After all, it is on my drive. Well, the idea is that you don't necessarily know what is in your drive. It takes a long time for me to get to the drive, open the video, play the video to figure out what is in the video, and then, oh, it was not the video, let me move on. And what if I do not have the codec necessary to play the video, etc., etc., etc. And handling a couple terabytes is easy, but when we talked about petabytes, this is another story. Because, mind you, companies that are shooting videos, they are going to get a lot more media. It is growing exponentially. Now you have phones that are shooting 4K videos, and you have new cameras, and every company and corporate of this in the world, they need to get a video team and video studio because it's all about video. It is videos posted on Facebook, Twitter, and so on. So the content is growing, and you need to know what you have. And this is where Axel fits in. So I'm going to close now the Finder window and just go through the interface. This is a simple web interface of Axel. And on the left side, I can easily expand or collapse the folder and jump to the folder that I am interested in. We have also bins, which will be kind of the project area, which will allow me to have select, as you can see here under each thumbnail. And these segments can be then sent to my video editing solution of choice, whether it is Premiere, Final Cut Pro, and we also have support for Avid Media Composer. Below the bins, I will have the smart filters. So these will be predefined queries or saved search queries. So again, as a user, I will perform a search, and I will probably need to redo this search more than once and find new content that will meet the criteria of my search. This is why we save the search queries. And last but not least, archiving, which will allow me to see the content that have been pushed to cloud, tape, basically any parking spot where where I will be able to save my files to free up the space on the main storage that I'm using for editing. So you get the idea. Left side means I'm jumping to the folder that I'm interested in, whether it is folder, project, search, or archive. At the top, we have the logo area, which can be changed. It's also used as the home, as the going back home. And next to here, you will have the search. Now I can enter any kind of search, and bear with me, it is going to be a little bit slower when I'm sharing my screen, but I'm just going to search on Axol, which is basically going to search across everything. File path, file name, any kind of metadata, or even AI-generated data. So I'm going to search through Axol. It's going to take a little bit of time because I'm sharing my screen, but I want to show you that I have close to 1 million files. Like roughly 900,000 files are here within my Axol system. 889,000, as you can see right here. Now, it would take, like I showed earlier, it would take a lot of time for me to go through and find what I need. So I can just continue to tag on keywords to find what I may need. And suddenly, you will see that in a matter of seconds, I went from 900,000 files to 2 files by just adding new keywords. And this is what Axol is about. It means that I can find my content fast. And you will see that for each file that Axol is indexing, it will create a low-res proxy, or at least we are going to try depending on video codecs. Most professional formats we will be able to support, including Red, Blackmagic Raw, and so on. So you will see that I can scrub through the thumbnail to see the content. And I can click here on a thumbnail to play the video player. And we generate a video player. The time code is going to be kept intact. This particular video starts at 0. But you will see that I can scrub through the video, play. I can use the JKL keys to have different playback speed, 2x, 4x, or going backward. It's hard to see with the screen sharing on Zoom, but this is the idea. So playing, and you have on the right side the user tag. Now, as I mentioned, we were able to search across a lot of different information, including user-generated tags. And you can create these own fields by clicking on the edit button here. I will be able to update text, a checkbox, or a date. So different fields that can be created for you to help and find the videos that you need, or pictures and audio files. We support a wide variety, including PDF, where we actually also generate OCR, just like on the video, that will allow you to search on words within your PDF. While we're on the topic of OCR, let me quickly talk to you about the AI tags. I showed you here user-generated tag. Let me talk about the AI tag. Having user-generated tag means that I need to watch every video and tag it manually. I still need to go and say, okay, this is Saturday Night Live. This is shot in New York at this date, and so on. And maybe I need to say who features in this particular episode and what is being said, what objects are used. You know, was there a boat, was there a car, and so on. And this is time-consuming. And again, growing number of videos mean it's taking more and more time for a librarian to go in and tag efficiently what exists in your library. Now, we have integrated with multiple tools and also developing our own AI tools that will allow you to find out, for example, who appears in the video, such as Beck Bennett or Benedict Cumberbatch, and where they appear in the video. And this is key here. Now, I know that I will have bits of Benedict Cumberbatch in each blue area here in my timeline. So this is key. We also have objects. Now this bit will be a little bit boring, but if you find electronic or screen or monitor, you will see that this screen appear. So again, kind of animals, cars, trucks, trees, and stuff like that, you will be able to search and find. But what has been really the killer feature in Axol is what is being said. Now, here you are, when you receive a PDF document or a Word document, you can do a Control F and find and look for the words, you know, and basically help you locate part of the video. When we are doing the same thing here, Now here's a transcript where we know what is being said, and we can filter and search against it. All this AI generated data you can search against. Of course, I can edit my transcript. It will follow on the right side, as you can see as I scrub. And whenever I'm ready, I can export my transcript to a format of my choice, whether it is SRT for captioning or Premiere or ITT for Final Cut Pro 10. OCR, what is being said, coming up, you will see coming up right here. So whatever is returned, we can also try to grab it. And it is again important when you have a name of the person appear as a lower third in your video, or kind of keynotes and everything else. Speaking of OCR, I mentioned that we have support multiple formats, and these include pictures where we can bring in the IPTC, EXIF, and XMP metadata associated to the picture, so I can see who is the artist and search against it. But if I were to take this PDF file right here, let's take the Axel user guide from 2017 here in this case, and you will see that not only can I see the different pages of my PDF and read, but we have also OCR, which will allow me to search on specific words within my PDF. So we are trying to give you the tools necessary to basically find the files that you need. And last but not least, let's talk a little bit about the new reality of what is happening today, where more and more people are working remotely. Not everybody at home will have a SAN or high-speed storage to edit, nor will they be able to bring in 250 terabytes or more files, over. That would be prohibitive, or upload it to the cloud. Now, what do? You're at home editing. Your company has the media in their storage back in the office. Now, with Axel, we have launched reverse proxying. Notice that here, all my interface is web-based. Well, the reverse proxying tool is actually the option to create a direct connection from a server in the cloud to your Axel server. No IT required, no IT department involved, no opening the ports, no opening the internet to your network. It's a secured, private connection between a server in the cloud and your Axel server, which then will serve people from the internet. Now, everything I have showed you here, such as download, sharing, and everything that we have within the Axel interface in a company, you will be able to have the same features across the internet. So for example, if I wanted to access here my colleague's server in London, you will see that I have the login page appearing. And just like that, I will be able to access the Axel content, have previews where I can play the videos. As you can see, same scrubbing capability, same search capabilities. I can select and download. Let me download the LoRaWAVE proxy just to simplify it a bit. I can download the files and of course play the preview, update the data, and so on. So you have all of that available. So all the company's footage available from the internet. In addition to that, we have a little bit improved our Premiere panel. So here I am on Adobe Premiere Pro, where I'm just going to open a project. And what I'm going to do is get into our extension. So let me log out. We have a free extension available within Premiere. Launching Axel, I have the extension available. I can connect to my local system, or I can connect to another system. I'm going to stick to remote here. To local, I'm sorry, just for speed's sake. But what we have introduced is the possibility to search, browse the media straight from Premiere, works also with reverse proxy. But when I will get to the content here, and I want to import, so this file is archived, and I want to import a clip, I will be able to import the file directly into my Premiere. all the AI tags and transcript would also come over as markers. But more importantly, let's say that I do not have access to this file is not found, or I'm doing it remote. We are going to give you the option to download the file straight into your Premiere project. And it can be the high-res original, or it can be an editing proxy within Axon. And we are about at the 20-minute mark. We have 10 minutes left, and I would like to take the time to have any questions and answer any questions. So thank you very much. And let's see if we have a question here. Oops, did not mean to stop sharing. Let's reshare. Already, so I see a couple questions. Can I tag more than one media? That is a very good question. So the reason is I have shown you editing here, but what if I have a bunch of media or a whole shoot that is coming back? Well, I can just go back to, let's go to this international folder here on my colleague system. I'm not going to save, but I will show you how you can select multiple files. You will see the checkbox, and I'm going to take a folder. All of that, you can then update the metadata on the whole batch. And for the folder, we are going to push across everything. So very easy indeed to batch tag your media. Excellent question, thank you. Other question, what is the cost? Yes, of course, it's all a question about the cost. Maybe Colin, since you're doing the sales for us, I can let you answer that one.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, it sort of varies based on your needs and the amount of people that will be using the system. But it starts around $3,000 for a 2-user, and that's to purchase the software. And then every year after, it's 15% per year. But we also have a new SaaS model, which has been pretty useful, especially during these times where there's a lot of uncertainty. So if you want to go by, a month to month, that could start anywhere as low as $300 a month.
Great, thank you, Colin. Well, one thing I'm not sure I was clear enough early on in my demo was that this is an on-premise solution. It's not in the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So the reverse proxying is tapping directly into your on-premise server to serve the information back into the internet. There is nothing in the cloud. It's all on-premise. So it's the server. You own the server, you own the software, and you own the storage. Thank you, Colin. Other question, what languages are supported for the transcript? Well, it all depends on the engine you're going to use. If you were to use Axor Speech, we support roughly 6 languages: English, Spanish, French, Italian, Korean, and the 6th one is eluding me. So we support 6 languages. When you decide to analyze a video with AI, you will see the option. And we also integrated with other engines such as Speechmatics, which supports a lot more languages. But you will see that I selected this clip here, and I'm going to analyze the video. And the Axor Speech, you will have the languages here: Italian, Korean, Portuguese. That's the one that was eluding me. So these are the 6 languages we support. But if I were to pick any other engine, you will see that then it's dependent on the engine we use. And in addition, we are not restricted only to the engines here. I can just go in and let's say I'm going to this clip. I believe I have already processed it to test the French version. No, I did not. But you can also bring existing SRT, so you do not necessarily need to use the Axor bit. So we are not trying to decide which AI engine you need to use or which one is best. We are providing some, but we are integrating with others. Microsoft Video Indexer provides a wide variety of data.
And someone was asking about additional Adobe Suite, After Effects, and other Adobe applications.
Great question. Thank you, Colin. Well, this is also coming before the end of the month, but we do have similar panels that I have shown you in Premiere are also available in After Effects, Illustrator, whenever we can launch it. So it's sharing the screen, so it's slower. After Effects, Adobe Illustrator, InDesign, and Photoshop, in addition to Premiere. So pretty much the biggest products that you will have in the Adobe suite, we do support it. Yeah, so hopefully it is going to launch. I think it's a brand new one. It's taking some time, but I will be able to showcase that shortly. So yeah, so actually, the storage. We have some more question about the storage, which you know, like I mentioned, every storage that is mounted in Axel is supported. But maybe Colin, you can give some example of who we have been partnering with and some success stories here.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, Axel just watches a mount point. So we're pretty much compatible with any storage system you have. But we do a lot of partnering with companies like Quantum. QNAP is probably one of the most popular that we have been working with. So yeah, basically from anywhere from the small NAS to large SAN systems, Axel is compatible with, and we have formed a bunch of partnerships.
Thank you, Colin. And I just showcase a quick drag and drop import into After Effects while you were describing the storage. Thank you. Other question: What are the limitations for the videos? I mean, we are really keeping up. I'm assuming the question is about the codec, so I'm going to answer that way. Feel free to follow up in the chat or in the question area. So in terms of codec, we try to follow what is available. We do, we use FFmpeg, and we are staying close to the latest release that they have. We simply generate H.264 and whatever we can decode from FFmpeg, we are going to use it. Now we have also integrated with other more advanced transcoding solutions, depending on needs, such as Amazon AWS Elemental. If you need to generate a lot of videos at a time, then you may need to have something a little bit beefier. Or Prime, which is going to help us handle the very high-end formats such as Red, Blackmagic Raw, Cinema HD, and so on. So we try to basically accommodate the client based on what they got. Other thing that I can mention, if I go back to my Axel system and briefly go to the administrator pages, you will see that each folder level can have their own permissions based on the user. But what I wanted to show you was in the advanced section of the admin settings, and I'm going at the bottom here, where we can basically re-import existing proxies, and that will allow us to basically, if you have the proxies already made, instead of us rendering, we can re-import it. Another question about metadata transfer. Is it possible to transfer data from a system to Axel and vice versa? That is actually a very good question. And it's funny that I am on this page, but you can see here the XML import folder. So you can basically pass XMLs into Axel in order to bring in data from outside Axel. And it can be batch tagging, it can be upon ingest, and so or migrating from other databases. If you have an Excel spreadsheet or FileMaker, we can definitely grab all this information and then push it into Axel, so you do not lose this data. In terms of getting out of Axel, we have also an export XML, which is going to give you the exact same XML that you can rework. We do also have a REST API that will allow you to feed or retrieve information from Axel. So there is a REST JSON API available. Everything we have showed you in the interface is available from the API. And lastly, we just use industry standard, technologies in the backend. It's simply PostgreSQL. You could envision doing a PostgreSQL dump and launching the server somewhere else to retrieve the data. You are not locked into Axel. Basically, that's my point. I hope I answer your question, but you are not locked into Axel, and we do our best to bring the information into Axel if you need, and export the information out if you need it somewhere else. These are all excellent questions. Number of seats. So we mentioned that we talked about number of seats. The question is, am I limited one user per seat? Actually, no, we do not really do that. You are going to lose some of the features, such as knowing whom tagged what or whom downloaded which file, but you can have more than one person logging into the system. And if your question is about getting into having some customer feedback or partner feedback, you could potentially share, and you can select more than one file and share, and we generate a link, and that will not require a login. So I'm accessing directly here the video, and I can just scrub, and I will say, for example, remove this bit and change the approval to rejected and post. And you will see that on minute 6:36, I will have the comment posted. And let me refresh the page here with this video player. And you will see that not only the approval has been set to rejected, and as well as I have a new marker, remove this bit, that has been posted by the guest. This comments area is additional data that is searchable, and you can search across the time, and you can tie it into a specific part of the timeline in the video. And we have reached the half-hour mark. Let me see if there are any questions. Don't be shy. Happy to stay an additional couple of minutes. But I don't think there are any questions. Turning it over my colleagues to see if there are any questions that need to be addressed from Facebook.
No, looks like we're good.
Looks like we're good. But everybody, thank you very much. A recording will be provided shortly. And do keep the contact going. If you have any questions or did not get a chance to hear an answer that you're not sure whatever answer I gave is the correct one, our contact information is our first name at axel.ai. Therefore, my email address is Patrice, Patrice @axel.ai. Axel is AXLE, like the axle in a car. Colin is reachable at colin@axel.ai, COLIN. And lastly, Katie will be KATY@axel.ai. Thanks a lot for your time, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Thanks, everybody.